Hi, everybody, and welcome to TFT Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee. This is me, Oberon, with the outlook on the emotional exchanges. And if I'm wearing a hat, it's maybe 90% likely that I'm having a bad hair day. Um, so let's just get on with the reading then, in that case. And so, as you may remember, I've recently revised the reading, so I'm now doing 3 cards. The first card is, like before, the vibration of the week, the energy of the week. The second card is now the emotional challenge of the week, so something that may be challenging you on some level. And I want to keep in mind that although in the past, a lot of this focused around love or romantic kind of relationships. I'm sort of opened up the idea that these could be about other emotional exchanges too. Sometimes when somebody just is angry and wants to confront you, maybe the cards may point to that. And that's especially true with the third card, which I actually draw from a different deck. I'm going to be drawing that from my old favorite Secrets Tarot. And I've isolated just the court cards, so there are 16 of them, and I use these to determine who is coming towards you. And so once again, that could be for any number of reasons, not necessarily because they're romantically seeking you. In fact, my intuition would try to guide me to the idea that not everybody is in a relationship or cares about a relationship or has a primary relationship. I mean, this could be about, your relationship with your parents or your cousins or siblings or something else. So I'm going to give those a shuffle too. The main deck I am using for the reading is the Mermaids Tarot. And I'm using that this week because I wanted to give myself a break from the other more obvious love theme decks. And there's definitely a central romantic-ish feel here with these images. A lot of times the actual male presence of a card, like let's say a king or a knight, is replaced by a mermaid, a female figure. So I'm not exactly sure what that may mean to you, but we're going to get going. And this is a reading for all the signs of the zodiac. So we're going to start off with Aries. And the readings are good for a week ahead. Or something else slipping here. Well, sun, moon, or rising, like I said. All right. And so once again, that first card is about the emotional vibe for the week. And it's the Four of Swords reversed. So actually, that's okay. The Four of Swords reverse could say that the vibe for the week is kind of getting re-involved with a situation, some sort of relationship. It could be a relationship between co-workers or workers or something like that. The Four of Swords may indicate that maybe you've been out of the loop before. Maybe you were on vacation, or maybe you were, distant in some way. Maybe a slight implication that it could be health related. Maybe you had to take time off for a health situation. Um, so now then, what is the emotional challenge of the week for the Aries? And it's the Knave, also known as the Page of Swords, but it's reversed. And the emotional challenge is pretty clear here because what it's saying, I think, is that you have to be tactful and diplomatic in some of your relationship situations. So this could be between you and your boss, or you and somebody that's a subordinate to you. It could within your more primary relationship. You may have to, you know, kind of be truthful about a certain matter. All right, so I'm going to let that stand there. And as mentioned before, we're using the Secrets Tarot, uh, and this is who's coming towards you. Drawn from that. It's the Knave or Page of Wands. So it could be a young person, could be somebody that's a fire sign or has some of those elements in their personality or chart. So fire signs are Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. Uh, the Page of Wands could be saying that maybe this person is coming to you because they have a message of some sort. It could be an invitation. Maybe if you're able to go on dates or meet people for dinners or things like that, it could indicate that. Or if you're in a relationship already, maybe it's a mutual or a group relation invitation. So that's what I have for Aries, the sun, moon, or rising. And we're going to move on to Taurus then. And once again, that's sun, moon, or rising. All right, so Taurus, what is the emotional vibe? It's the upright Five of Pentacles. And so maybe you're working hard to figure out where you belong. You may be feeling like you're on a hunt of some sort for this information or for the sense of where you feel you belong. Some of this is about your emotional status with maybe groups of people. So this could apply to people who are in a new job environment and maybe feel a little shy or awkward about some of the people they're meeting or dealing with. This could also have to do maybe with a sense of the approaching holiday times where people don't always look exactly forward to dealing with relatives for any number of reasons. All right. That can't necessarily be all Taurians. So Taurians, what is your emotional challenge for the week? It's the upright Knight of Cups. And I think the emotional challenge is moving towards what you desire. Your challenge is trying to figure out how to get closer or move actually towards that. So if you're not in a relationship and that's something that maybe is happening for you, then you're thinking about ways you can, take advantage of the holiday season or whatever to, begin the relationship. If it's anything else, like for example, you really have a strong desire to be one of the first people to see a particular movie that's coming out around Christmas time, this could indicate you'll be more strident about, securing those tickets. So it could be a number of different things. I just sort of went with opposites there in a way. All right, so now I'm going to look at the cards and give us an idea about who is or may be moving towards Taurus for whatever reasons. And it is the Knight of Pentacles. And so that means that it could be a youngish man, somebody between, mid-20s and mid-30s, perhaps. I play loose and fast with that. They could be an earth sign, like Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or they could be somebody that has some of those qualities in their personality or in their chart, like they have a sun or moon rising in uh, one of those earth signs. The idea, though, could be is that it may be more of a practical matter. They may be moving towards you because they have practical business with you of some sort. It could also mean, too, that this is not so much a message, but maybe a meeting with people who, could either bring you business, bring you a sense of security or support. So it's a little bit on the more general side, perhaps. At any rate, that's what I got for you, Taurus. And we will move on to Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising. All right, Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising. What is the emotional vibration for the week? It's the moon upright. So you may be trying to figure out something. There may be an emotional question in your life. Maybe it's about who really cares about you, or maybe it's about some mystery about that. Like maybe you just have a feeling that somebody is thinking about you from afar. It could be a couple of things. I mean, maybe you're connected to somebody you haven't seen in a while, and so maybe you're wondering about them. There's a strong emotional feel that maybe is about connection with others. Now, what is the actual emotional challenge for the week? And it's the Knight of Wands, and they are upright. Okay, so the Knight of Wands says that something is moving towards you. It maybe is some sort of involvement that represents as a challenge. The idea could be a quest, an accomplishment. Um, it sort of is not like mean spirited. It's sort of like doing something because it just needs to be done. It's sort of like being noble and brave and confident about whatever that challenge is. So from the very mundane, it could be saying a person realizes that they have to take a certain level of coursework, or maybe they have to undergo a certain procedure, or even undergo a certain form of therapy or treatment. And they're going to be brave about how they approach that because maybe emotionally they have a lot of feelings about it already. So that was an idea there that I gave out about what that could be. We'll now take a look and see who is moving towards Gemini, whether it's in love or some other aspect. And it's the Knight of Pentacles again, but this time they're reversed. So it could be an earth sign once again. It could be somebody that has those qualities, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But when they're reversed, maybe they're sort of either lethargic or they're stubborn, and so maybe the person that's moving towards you doesn't really want to engage, and so they're sort of putting it off or they're taking their time about it, but they may be in the mood to argue in some way or to sort of push their point of view on you. So I want you to be prepared for that, Gemini. Maybe somebody that just sort of feels like they need, to talk to you about it, but they want to control the situation. And that is a malignant earth sign in a way, no? All right, so we will move on to Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Whoops. Sorry about that. So Cancer, what's the emotional vibe for the week? It's the reversed Four of Cups. Cancer, emotionally, you've been really kind of up in the air about some stuff, and maybe it's about what you really desire to happen, or who you want to be with, or things along those lines, emotional, strong feelings. And so you may be feeling you're finally coming to the point where you can make some sort of decision, or decide, how you're going to go. Now, what is the actual emotional challenge of the week? Although that sounded kind of challenging. And it's the world, and the world is upright. So maybe this is about, your sense of completing something and arriving at a sense of good job. Perfection has been done, or more or less. Um, Maybe you had to really choose and engage. And so that's what you're saying, is like, now that the choice has been made, you have to complete that work, move towards that perfection. So what is the kind of person that is coming towards you, Cancer? Once again, using the Secrets Tarot. And it is the upright King of Swords. So the person coming towards you could be maybe an older person, or at least, 40-ish, They could be an air sign, so they could be Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. They're most likely somebody that's in charge of something. So they could be uh, somebody who's important in their own company, or in a company, or, on the more mundane level, they could be somebody that maybe controls their own business. But a lot of this is about really, they're being able to really control things, especially important decisions about expansion and stuff like that. So, on the practical level, this could be, something to do on a more legal sense. Maybe it has something to do with government, maybe it just has to do with, a decision being made that you need to become aware of, and that this is the kind of person bringing you that information. So that's about what I can see there. Good luck with that. And we'll move on to Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. All right, Leo, what is the emotional vibe for the week? And it's the reversed Wheel of Fortune. So, from some sort of emotional point of view, you're going to feel like there's inadvertent random things happening that don't feel good, random bits of bad luck, or things you just didn't count on happening, just misoccurrences where maybe you were meant to catch a message and you didn't, or something like that. But they may involve, your own or others, feelings about things. And so maybe there's maybe a sense of that, you're you or someone else is timing things to their own advantage, and maybe that's not working out exactly right, or maybe it is, and so it could be seen as hurtful even to other people or to yourself if it's happening to you. Now, what is the emotional challenge for the week? That's the reversed Five of Cups. And so it almost feels it feels like there could be another chance at some sort of happiness. So it feels like you have to connect with maybe some situations that you thought you were letting go of, or that had let go of you. Um, I don't know if it's exactly tied in, to what the Wheel of Fortune is saying. It's possible, it could be that maybe these misoccurrences have to do with, somebody who isn't as present in your life. Not sure about that. It could be. Anyway, let's take a look at who could be coming towards you for emotional reasons of some sort. And it's the reversed Knave or Page of Swords. And so, as sword, once again, it's possible air sign or somebody with air sign in their chart or personality. And, those qualities, air signs like Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini. So a little bit more of a thoughtful person at times, or a person who feels that way, but they're coming towards you maybe. I don't know why, but it sort of feels like they're sort of not sure how they're coming towards you. Now, this could be a young person, so this is maybe somebody who's still awkward in a way. Um, I don't know what they're coming towards you for exactly. It may be about delivering a message or a communication, but sort of feels like they're half-hearted or they're not sure how to do this, and it just feels awfully newbie-ish in a way. So watch out for that, whatever it may mean, and we'll move on to Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. All right, Virgo, what's the emotional vibe for the week? What kind of environment are you operating in? It's the role reversed. So, from an emotional point of view, you feel like something's really bothering you because you can't seem to get it finished, uh, and it feels like you're just not going to get it right the way you want it to be. And so, this could be about a relationship or just about something you're trying to have in your life because you want it so much. Now, what is the challenge of the week? And it's the reversed Queen of Pentacles. So the challenges may be taking care of yourself in a way, just sort of focusing on yourself rather on the needs of others. And so that may be very much a Virgo thing or may not. Virgos are human too, and sometimes they really, want to take care of the world, and sometimes they do want to take care of themselves. So this is a reminder, Virgo, that maybe this next week or so, this is a time to take care of yourself. You don't have to get it perfect, even if everybody else is trying to tell you that you do. All right, so Virgo, who's coming towards you? And it's Queen of Wands. So Queen of Wands, it could be a mature woman, but a woman can be a woman at any age, I'm told. So it could be a young 20s person, an adult, all the way to wherever you want to go. It's mature. It's somebody who knows they're a woman, and they're a fire sign. And of course, to me, the fire signs are a certain personality. but that's sun, moon, or rising, and so they could be like an Aries, like a Leo, like a Sagittarius. So there's a dynamic about them that represents that they are, in fact, dynamic signs, generally speaking. This person is coming towards you maybe because they really do want to engage you in something lively, even if they're not, like I said, a woman necessarily, or in that way, or even necessarily a fire sign. They just have that kind of fiery personality, engaging, vivacious, and they may want to pull you along with something. Um, they're going to be charming you with that. So that was Virgo. And we will move on to Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Libra, what's the emotional vibe for you this week? It's the Five of Pentacles again. So Libra, right now you feel like you're just sort of out of the loop on things, or you sort of feel like you're not connected to something you really want to be connected to. You sort of feel like you're aloof for some reason, you're not with it, and it doesn't feel exactly right. What will be your emotional challenge this week? And it's the King of Cups upright. And the emotional challenge may be you trying to be fair-minded, honest, kindful about whatever's going on, or accepting what somebody like that may be saying to you, or what circumstances may be saying to you. Like maybe this is saying you have to lighten up on yourself in a way because it's now the holiday times and people don't necessarily mean to forget everybody in their lives, but sometimes they do forget some people. So Libra, what is your, who is coming towards you this week? What kind of personality or situation could be coming towards you in any number of ways? Love, romance, something else, just fun. Or maybe they have an argument going on. But it is the upright King of Pentacles. And as an upright king, they are probably a mature individual. Once again, they could be from late 30s and beyond. They may be their own captain of industry, especially when it's the King of Pentacles, because it seems to be more of an involvement with material life and bearing on things. As an earth sign, they could be a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. And I think they're coming to you because maybe they want to show you in some way or the other, what being able to manage things does, or maybe they want to manage you for whatever it is you do. Now, since this could be about something that has emotional concern, they may just feel, whoever this person is, and you may know them, grandfather, father, I don't know, drawn to you because they feel they can help you out, material speaking. So they're more about the material good in your life. All right, I'm going to move on to Scorpio, which is, of course, my own sign. Scorpio, sun, moon, or rising. Scorpio, what is the emotional vibe for the week? Queen of Pentacles, upright. Scorpio, you seem to want to express yourself outwardly at this time. You may want to be helping other people, design their life from that emotional point of view. There are some minor management qualities here, but it's really more about what you can create or how you show yourself being involved in the carrying mode or process with that in a way. So you're feeling your mother nature in a way. You're feeling like an earth mother of some sort, and you want to help other people, perhaps. And maybe this is about relationships, but it doesn't necessarily feel exactly like that. Now, what is your emotional challenge of the week? And it's the Eight of Pentacles, and it's upright. So emotionally speaking, you may feel you have to work under certain guidelines, and you may not always like that or be used to that, or it may be new to you, and so it's sort of a new experience. You may be feeling like, if this is about, relationships, I think it is more so than, things you want to pursue that you like, because I think there are no rules when it comes to that. But maybe when it's coming to people interactions, there may be protocols or things you have to be aware of. So this could be saying that's your challenge. If you're trying to get closer to somebody, you might have to, follow a certain procedure in some way. I know it sounds kind of flaky. So who is coming towards you, and possibly why? Scorpio, who's coming towards you? Once again, it's the Page of Swords, and they are upright. I think they were reversed before. The Page of Swords could be a young person, could be, and so that means they could be young, as in young adult, younger person that normally could come to you without, being illegal or something. But, so like a younger relative or a younger person you may know, they could be male or female. They could be an air sign. They could be Aquarius. They could be Libra or Gemini. They have those kind of qualities, and they may be a messenger, and they may be actually somebody that's here to remind you about your own sense of manners or decorum. So in a sense, this may not necessarily be a person per se. It could be something in a situation that is here to remind you to, play fair, Scorpio. But maybe it's a message of some sort too. So I won't disregard that. We're going to move on to Sagittarius. Sun, Moon, or Rising, Sagittarius. What is the emotional vibe for the week for Sagittarius? It's the Lovers. So you may find that, really you have a hard time choosing between something that's really emotionally pleasing and something else that may be too. The only difference may be that there seems to be something that lasts longer or that has a better long-term outcome. And you may be trying to decide if that's what you really want, or if you're more now, if you're more about the now. There could be other ways that there's a dichotomy in your decision. It may not necessarily be about those terms. Maybe you understand that, what you want isn't necessarily what other people think you should want, so could take on other considerations. Now, what is your emotional challenge this week, Sagittarius? And you two have the World, and so the idea is your challenge is finishing something or completing something. And this could be a relationship that you need to, end, or end a certain level of business with. It could be something about other people from an emotional point of view, a relationship that maybe, for example, you're leaving a job or being promoted and you're not going to see, co-workers or students, or other people that are in your sphere. Maybe it represents a changeover, because the World can mean the end of one thing, but it almost always means the beginning of something else. Okay, Sagittarius, who is coming towards you then? And once again, that's from the Secrets Tarot. It's the King of Cups, and it's upright. So the King of Cups could be an older gentleman. They could be just somebody from the late 30s till beyond. They may be fatherly or grandfatherly. There's somebody that maybe wants to help you emotionally speaking to understand something. So they could be a mentor of some sort. They may be somebody that, takes care of your children and needs to talk to you about them, like they're a teacher maybe or something like that. Or they are somebody that wants to impart some sort of spiritual or emotional based wisdom to you. All right, we'll move on to Capricorn then. Sun, Moon, or Rising. The emotional life for the week, it's the wheel, and it's upright, unlike previous reading. So the wheel upright maybe represents that you're going to have some good luck or good timing, especially if there's emotional situations going on where maybe you're going on a date or you're going to a party or you're doing something in the holiday season that you really enjoy. Everything's going to seem to work out. There's going to be emotionally good timing with you in other situations that maybe will generate even more. Now, what is the emotional challenge this week? It's the Six of Cups. And the challenge may be that you have to also remember there are other people in your life from the past. Maybe they're family or maybe they're friends, but you need to check in with them. You need to maybe extend your emotional good feelings and bonds towards them. Maybe it's been a while and you just need to reconnect. It could also mean too that, maybe they're doing that on their part too. So be open to that. Who is coming towards you, Capricorn? Possibly why? And once again, it's the King of Swords. So there may be a man, a mature man, maybe 40ish and or beyond. They may be fatherly, unclely. They may be, somebody that at work, somebody who's in charge of something. For some reason, I feel like, of course, they could be in law enforcement. They could be a lawyer. They could be a cop. But maybe not. They are somebody that maybe, has a situation that they either want your advice on, they want you to help them make a decision, or maybe they feel they need you to decide something, and so they're coming to you with that in mind as well. They could be an air sign, they could be Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini. Good luck with that. Okay, we're going to move on to Aquarius. Sun, Moon, or Rising. What is the emotional vibration around you this week, Aquarians? It's the Ace of Swords. There's the beginning, it's upright. There's the beginning of some undertaking. I mean, it could be just like, you got to plan, Aquarius, for your Christmas or holiday shopping. Or more likely, though, it feels like something new is beginning for you. So, maybe you're starting a holiday new job or an extra job. Maybe something exciting for you that represents a sense of uh, ownership in a way is happening. Maybe it's just a new collaboration with somebody. It doesn't have to be work related. It could be something going on in other parts of your life. Now, what is the emotional challenge for the week? And, ooh, what a challenge it is. It's the Tower reversed. So it feels like, emotionally speaking, something's coming down and you're not able to control the narrative, perhaps. And also, too, there may be a feeling here like, really, you should have known better. Maybe there was a reason why you should have realized what was going on. I don't know if they're tied in. I don't see them being exactly tied in. This feels too good in a way. This does not. So they could be in the sense that really you're able to avoid this. But to me, there's always a reckoning when the Tower is reversed. And so watch out for that. Now, Aquarius, who's coming towards you? It's the reversed Queen of Swords. Well, maybe there is a connection. The Queen of Swords could be somebody who basically says, I don't care about your feelings. I have to decide what's right for me or for my cause. This could be yourself, but no, I think it's really who's coming towards you. This could be a mature woman, and maybe there's something going on that does involve, some sort of institution. The Tower could be that in the Lenormand, so I won't disallow that. Maybe this is talking about that. Swords are over here. It just sort of feels like there's a lot of energies going on, and the Queen of Swords may represent a person who is likely to not bring good news to you or to make some changes going on in your life. I'm sorry about that. More emotionally than anything, so maybe that they changed the status quo in a relationship you have. All right, we are now on Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Pisces, what is the emotional vibe for the week? And it is the Nine of Pentacles. That's upright. So the emotional vibe for the week is pretty cool. You feel really comfortable. You feel like, from an emotional point of view, you really have exactly what you feel you need. You have Goldilocks. You sort of feel like everything is to your sense of comfort. And this could apply to where you're at emotionally speaking, with yourself or with other people in your life. I have a minor feeling that this could involve really good feelings for people who have children or people who have younger dependents. So it could just mean, getting ready to enjoy the holiday season with those folks too. All right, so what is the emotional challenge for the week? And it's change. It's a big change, perhaps. It's death. Death means something ends, perhaps, but more likely there's just a big change going on. This could be tied into the other card. This could be saying, really, your perspective really changes a lot because of something that happens. Maybe your lifestyle really changes and becomes much more secure and comfortable. It could mean that, because the change is rarely something really bad that you can't accept. So, if I wanted to look at that realistically, maybe it means alimony or divorce that really pays off. I don't know. That could be one way of looking at it. So, Pisces, who is coming towards you? And possibly why? That's the Queen of Cups. Pisces, a lot of times you are the Queen of Cups. But I think somebody like yourself, perhaps, or somebody with the qualities of Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer, representing good emotional intelligence. The Queen could be a woman. It could be a younger woman, or it could be an older woman. It could be motherly, but it could be just somebody who really feels like a good friend and somebody who helps you approach reason or emotional balance. That's why they're coming to you. Maybe they're here to help smooth over problems you have with other people, or with them even, or with yourself. All right. And that was it for the emotional exchanges. I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to watch us tomorrow. Happy Hour will be on at 10 a.m. And then Banshee's show, The Material Matters, is also on at 10 a.m. on Sunday morning. And then we are live for our normal live stream from 2 to 4 p.m. Sunday afternoon. All right. So take care, everybody, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.